Hey guys, we are live from PhotoPlus Expo. My name is Stacy. I work with PhotoPlus, and I'm here with Monte Isom, the one and the only. So,
As far as we know.
So Monte, this morning you gave a presentation talking about business for photographers and some of the strategies that they should sort of be working towards to help grow their careers. Can you tell us a little bit about what some of the pitfalls are that you see emerging photographers making when it comes to the business aspect of photography?
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, photographers are notorious bad businessmen. I mean, we really, our focus is really taking pictures and kind of visual things and one of the huge mistakes is like not valuing your work.
Mm-hmm.
Undervaluing your work, thinking like, oh well, I'll just shoot this now. It's going to lead to something. One of the things that I talk about in the seminar is like the free work only gets you more free work. And when someone says, oh, there's going to be some more shoots down the line, well, great, then I'll give you a discount when you hire me on the third one.
There you go.
Not on the first one. Don't ask for your discount coming out on the front end.
Mm-hmm.
But really understanding the value of your work is a huge thing. And so in the seminar, and I like to talk about the usage rights. How do you actually get to the usage? Going and establishing like who, what, where, and how long. So who's it for? How long are they going to use it? Where are they going to use it? Is it North America? Is it just in your city? Is it just on one bus stop? What it is? And basically breaking all that down to try to establish what the value is of your work. So then you're not just giving your stuff away. Because the more people who give their photos away, it just brings down the whole industry.
Right, and it's tough because photography is such a competitive industry. So how do you sort of overcome some of that competitive factor?
Well, I view every photographer as a peer. I don't look at them as competition because the more information everyone has, it rises everyone up. And whenever you're looking at something like what I do a lot of advertising and a lot of commercial stuff. Whenever there's a lowball number coming in, it's not so much that that's going to get you a job. More art buyers and producers who I talk to are actually afraid of that number because they're they really don't understand the scope of this. I bid 3 people and 2 of them are in this range. No one's going to be the exact same number, but they're in this range. And someone's coming in here, their first thing, it's not just not look good. They're I don't think they understand what I was asking. And that's going low usually is the first way to not get the job. Where you really think about it and you're oh man, well if I'm a little cheaper, everyone likes a deal, right? But what happens in advertising specific, they need to come away with what they're looking to get. There's a very specific brief and scope at the beginning, and they need to be reassured that it's going to happen professionally, happen tight, and they're going to really come home with what they need and what they asked for. So it's all high fives and hugs and kisses. By being a really low price, they get scared, and it's the easiest way to talk your way out of a job is to be too low. So best thing, educate yourself, learn how to price things, learn what other people are doing, ask questions, ask for help, talk to producers. That's really what's really gonna help the whole industry. It raises my prices, it keeps everyone kind of established. So, I'm not looking at competition, I'm looking at my peers. I need to help everyone get to where, they're putting in legit numbers. And if they get the bid over me, awesome. There's a lot of work for everybody.
Excellent. That's one of the beautiful things about photography is that it really is a community that you can lean on other photographers and professionals within. And now I'm sure some of these lessons you've learned from experience. So maybe can you walk me through 1 or 2 pitfalls that you've experienced in your career and how you sort of overcame them?
Pitfalls in my career.
Or challenges throughout
I know, I'm just joking. There's pitfalls that we all go through in growing pains. Early on, I didn't know how to price things. And this is a little bit more in the old school photography days where no one wanted to say anything about what they charged. They was kind of holding it to your vest. How I overcame that really was reaching out to other people who hire photographers in a similar role, but not the person who's actually bidding me or asking me for an estimate.
Okay.
So I was able to ask other people to kind of get through that, and you ask for help, people are usually going to help you. Generally, and that was a really big one for me early on, is I had to really lean on other people to help give me some information that I could shape, and so I could be in the ballpark. And now, especially when I'm starting out, I was making sure that, okay, we have this range and these are the kind of things. I was leaning towards the lower range. I wasn't shooting for the stars. And it was good because it actually landed me some stuff early on when I was bidding, which was awesome.
Excellent. Can you walk us through maybe one of your more recent projects and sort of talk about how you bid for the project, worked with some of the art directors, and really brought it to fruition?
Absolutely.
Cool.
I just worked on a project for a protein bar called One, and we were shooting a professional athlete, and they found me from other work that I'd done for a sports drink, and they said, "Hey, you shot that stuff for Body Armor. We really like that, and we want to do stuff that's like in that vein." So that's where they found me, which was cool. So I didn't have to market to them. They actually found me. I mean, on my website, I say I'm represented by everyone I've ever met. If I do a job for you and it goes well, which it should, I'm going to do a job for 2 of your friends. So with that, we went through and they said, "Okay, cool. We're talking about," I said, "do you have licensing for any brands they're sponsored by?" He's sponsored by Adidas. "Okay, do you have licensing for that, or can we get apparel from them, because that's going to change our wardrobe budget cost? Do you have the Miami Dolphins licensing?" "No." "Okay, we're going to have to make a jersey, so we have to think about making a jersey that doesn't infringe on any of Miami's copyrights and trademarks." And so these are all questions that are happening in the first phone call. And you start talking about what is it that you're really looking for. And they're like, "All right, we want some dynamic action. We also need to get some standalones and stuff for POS." What is POS? Point of sale, which is also the same as point of purchase. By the way, this is stuff I talk about in my seminar. Understanding what the usages are helps me know what I'm going to price as. So if I'm saying, "Okay, cool, you need a standalone," they're going to do that cardboard cutout of that guy holding the 2 liter of whatever in 7-Eleven. That's what POS is. Anything that happens in the place where they actually sell something. So we were looking at POS. We were looking at OOH, which is out of home, because they're doing a billboard campaign in Miami. And so we have to shoot one specific thing for billboard, one specific thing for POS, and then all the things for social, to where they're going to be pushing it out on Instagram and having the athlete push it out and all the stuff. So we have to think about what all those media needs are.
And this is all happening pre-production?
This is first phone call.
First phone call, wow.
Like, this is like, you spend 40 minutes, and by asking good questions is how you really establish yourself of knowing, like, okay, they're thinking this through. The more questions you ask of someone that pertain to the job to figure out exactly what they want, the more reassured they are. Reassuring someone when they're going to give you a lot of money is the name of the game. That's why people oftentimes go with tried and true, someone they've already worked with. So that first job with someone, you have to make sure you establish really early, one, I know what I'm asking, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm asking questions that are very pertinent to what numbers I have to give you. So the big question is, so do you have a budget earmarked for this? That takes away so much of like the dance and the back and forth of trying to figure it out. Most people at this point don't have enough time to do the dance, so they say, "Okay, this is my number. This is what we have earmarked." And they said, "I don't know what you charge. I don't know if this is insulting. I don't know what it is, but this is the number we have." And I said, "Okay." I said, I said, "It's on the low end of what I do."
Double it.
No, I said, "It's on the low end of what I do, but let me look through what we have to do, and let's see if we can make it work. I think we can do it." And I said that off the cuff, but I said, "Let me look." Most of the time, I don't like to establish or give a price or a number the first time someone asks me. I want to take it, digest it, think about it, and then hit them with an estimate. But when they gave me that number, it was reasonable, and I knew I could do it and make money. Like, you have to understand, as a working photographer, you have to know what you need to make before anybody calls you. You need to know what it takes to live indoors, eat food, all the luxuries in life. So I already know what those numbers are for me and what I need to actually make money. I can make money on this. And I liked even just talking to the client straight away. So all of this is established first call. I go through, I work out numbers, I send it to it, and it's about 10% over what the number they had. And they said, in reality, really, like, I'm at the ceiling here. Is there ways that we can get it to that? So let me work the numbers. Let me see what we can do. I said, okay. I said, if we can itemize one thing out, like you don't know if you're going to do digital usage. If we can itemize that out as an option, and that if you need it at a later date, you can purchase that, that's going to bring us down this much money.
Smart.
And I found ways and places that I could cut a little bit here and there. And So I put in $10 less than what her ceiling was, and we went and shot the job. And so all of a sudden now you're hiring crew, you're hiring a local in Miami as a local assistant. I'm bringing an assistant, a stylist, and myself from New York. The reason that I'm bringing multiple people is so I can take enough gear, as my excess baggage would cost more than their ticket would. We hired a local makeup artist and rented a little bit of gear in Miami that we could not bring with us on the plane just physically. And we went and set up in a gym that we had hired and set up 3 different sets. When you're working with a professional athlete or any talent, it's plug and play. By the time they show up, you already have it set up. You've shot with your assistant, who is 4 inches shorter than your talent, so they're standing on an apple box, so they're like in the same spot. We've already shot the photo. It's already pre-lit. We have all 3 of them ready because we have to use the time of our talent efficiently. So it's plug and play. They get in. All of it is keeping them engaged the whole time. And so we shoot all our setups. We go through at the time allotted, 1 minute before. Group photo, everyone get in, and then it's high fives, hugs, and kisses, and away we go. So we shot all of that in Miami 9 days ago, and the billboards will be up November 1st.
Wow.
And I mean, our turnaround's fast. So, retouching. I'm retouching stuff last night, kicking it out for the billboard, then and shooting additional pieces like boxes of the product itself in case we want to retouch any of that in. So they're plates. Shooting that last night. Like, just that is the whole job. I mean, like, you go through that, you kick it to them, the designers look at it, okay, good. And what I do, a huge thing in retouching, I put retouching in as a line item, and that line item I always end up putting includes 3 revisions.
Okay.
Because if you don't limit how many revisions it is, you can get someone who just wants to keep tweaking. And at 15 revisions, it's not worth your time. You've lost money. So I always put in my initial estimate includes 3 revisions. Any additional retouching will be $250 an hour. It's a really important thing to put on your estimates. At any level, just put in 3 rounds. Limit how many. And it's not that restrictive. You can get it with 3 back and forths. Most of the time we nail it in 1 or 2. But it's a really important thing to put in a contract. And in the seminar, talking about business and all this stuff, I'm talking about contracts, I'm showing estimates, showing real life numbers of real life jobs. I block out who it's for and what it is, but I'll tell what market it is and all this stuff. It's like, I just want to share this information that I couldn't get when I was a photographer starting out.
Excellent. Now, Monte, can you tell us where some photographers who are starting out can find more of this information? I know you're big on education and spreading the wealth. Do you have any resources out there for them?
Absolutely. I end up doing seminars like this, but whenever we do a seminar and a talk, it's like I'm limited to 2 hours sometimes, and I got a lot more to say. Like I needed to pack 16 hours into 2 hours. So I recently just did an online tutorial with f-stoppers who do really great photo education tutorials based on how to be a headshot photographer, how to be an architectural photographer. I don't teach you anything about being a photographer. I only teach about the business of photography. If you want to see my work, you can go to my website. If you know how to spell my name, it's Monte Isom, Monteisom. It's like you can see my work, but I'm not there to teach you how to shoot like I do. I'm happy to, but that's not really what people need. What people need are the business acumen of being a photographer. And so I did this tutorial with f-stoppers, and the coolest thing about it is I went and interviewed 7 different people who hire photographers.
Great.
Art buyers, photo editors, people at movie poster houses, design agencies in small markets, because not everyone's in a big market. So we really try to tailor the information so then everybody, it can apply to everyone. It talks about concepts, talks about what has to happen to get your value, get your prices up, and just how to get your stuff ready for an audit. I go through taxes. I went to business school before I went to art school, so I kind of like this stuff. So if someone wants to see more of this and couldn't make it to our seminar here at Photo Expo, well, there's a tutorial. I think it's 16 hours long. You can stop on an estimate, look through it, pore over it, and get all that information that I had to scratch and claw for years to do.
Well, thank you so much for making that available to everyone, and thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the time to do the interview, and thanks to Photo Expo. I mean, this has been awesome. Every year that I do this, I love it.
Fantastic. Well,
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
All right.